Okay, so class today is working with the fascial system. And the fascial system is relatively, it's relatively in the last few decades that scientists and doctors, medical people have said, yeah, we have this other system besides the nervous system and the circulatory system. We have a fascial system or a fascial network. And it is this system, this honeycombing, all-encompassing system that it's everywhere in our body. It's in our eyeballs, in the bottoms of our feet. It's tougher in some places than other places. And it has this kind of honeycomb structure. So if you think about when muscles contract, the fibers, this would be a concentric contraction. This would be eccentric contraction. So the muscle fibers move like this. And each of these fibers, are moving in this honeycomb. They're enveloped in fascial structure. So our fascial system is super important to healthy and efficient movement, pain-free movement. And the epidemic of non-movement contributes to very sticky fascial system, where the fascial system, instead of having this smooth, lubricated movement, is like felt on felt, right? It doesn't move at all. It's very sticky. The fascial system we can have a lot of freedom in some areas of our body and not in other areas of our body, depending on our selected movements. But I'll try to tighten my shirt up here. If I move this side of my shirt, the other side moves, right? So it's like if this was skin tight, which I don't wear my clothing skin tight, but you can see if I move one side, it's going to move the other side. So everything is super connected in this way. Now, the fascial system, a good yoga practice, of course, we're going to be stretching the fascial system, and it has a plasticity to it. So when we think about something being elastic that stretches, when something has plasticity, it can stay in that new shape. So we talk about brain plasticity, neuroplasticity. Of course, the brain is also all wrapped up in fascial networking. So we can remodel the fascial system and therefore give more ease and less tension to our bodies, our whole body as a unit, by affecting the fascial system. The fascial system really likes a couple of things. It likes mindful movement, which is why yoga is such a great practice. It likes novelty. So doing the same thing over and over, not as good for us as changing things up. And it likes percussive kinds of movements. So things we kind of do when we're little that we quit doing, a little more playful things. We'll do a little bit of that today. And it likes holding. It likes when we hold a stretch or a posture, we're really affecting that remodeling. Okay, so we'll start on our backs. And just go ahead and start in a kind of an X shape on your body. Make an X shape with your body. And just right now, just let everything go. Just let everything really just fall to the floor. Body relaxed. Hopefully you have a warm space so you can be still, relatively still here for a few minutes. So we start by stopping. And this is This is something so valuable in all of our practices. Okay, I'll pause before we get going. And then you can bend your knees, take the soles of your feet to the floor, and take a little windshield wiper movement here. So as you're doing this, think about if you have, especially if you have your eyes closed, can you just in your mind's eye, what needs to be moving here, elongating, what needs to have ease and movement. So hip flexor, right? Abdominals, side waist, okay? So now just rest the knees together. Take your hands, one on top of the other, and just stimulate the fascial system right here. Make sure you go down between your hip pointers, up top of your belly, and around the other direction. You don't have to, that doesn't have to be a lot of pressure, just a little bit of pressure here and there. A little bit of pressure. And then take the same windshield wiper movement. Maybe there's a little more ease here. Ease. Okay. Great. And then we'll take the legs long again. And you want your heels to be still, but just move your feet until you feel some rocking in your body. And a couple of times you do this, you might just feel it down in your lower body, but hopefully you feel it all the way up to your head and maybe even out your arms. Release that. Take a breath. Okay, next inhale, we'll take the right leg out to the right. So reach through your toes here as you take your right leg out to the right. Then bend your knee and reach your right leg across your midline. And then bend through your knee and take it back out to the right. Make sure your pelvis stays level when you reach out to the right. And then just go back and forth with that movement. Very nice. And then the next time you come across midline, roll onto your belly, keeping the leg lifted, and reach through your toes. Reach through your toes. And then press with your hands, roll yourself back to your back, and draw your right knee in towards your low ribs. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. You can take the legs straight if you feel open enough in the hamstring. Maybe take the inside of your foot. For 3, 2, 1. You could also have a strap on your foot here if you don't have quite the openness in your hamstring. You can have a strap on your foot and have the foot a little bit further away. Good. So then take the soles of your feet to the floor and windshield wiper back and forth. Then legs long, both hands to the belly. Just nice, you're just reminding the fascial system, hey, wake up here if you're not already awake. Good. All right, then we go left leg out to the left. Reach through your toes, reach through your toe tips. Bend your knee, come across midline. Bend the knee, reach long. Bend your knee, cross midline. Back and forth. Left hip will lift up when you go across midline, but when you go out to the left, make sure your right hip stays put. Okay, and then the next time you reach across your midline, roll into your belly, keep the leg lifted, reach through your toe tips. Press your hands into the floor and roll back onto your back. Bring your left knee towards your side ribs, left hand underneath the thigh, behind the thigh. Back of the neck stays long here. Maybe you want to get the hamstring stretch as well. This side's a little tighter for me, so I'll take my ankle. Then we come down to the floor. Both legs long, heels planted, and rock. Softly rock your body. Now, if you were in one of my previous classes about the fascial system, we also talked about this idea of pendiculation, which is just this movement from the inside out, kind of. If you think about waking up on a lazy Saturday or Sunday morning and yawning, letting that yawn produce a stretch, and then go again. Maybe you have to keep, you can keep using the yawn as the way to have the stretch happen, but maybe you can just start to think like, oh, how many directions, how many ways can I move my body? Can I move in different directions? Okay, and then let's everybody bring left knee towards left elbow and then back, and then right knee towards right elbow and back. Left knee, left elbow. Right knee, right elbow. Left knee, left elbow, and then roll so that you come together, thighs and arms. And then on your next inhale, stretch yourself long. So you don't really want to fall to your belly completely, kind of on your side body, but you're doing a kind of a big open stretch, and then slide everything back. Arms and legs stacked. And then open up like a clamshell. Come back to center. Just let the knees rock back and forth slightly. Take the knees around in a circle, both directions. And then drop your knees over to the right. Bring hands together, knees together. Then inhale and open everything up. Reach the arms away, reach the legs away, like a little back bend here on your side body. And then slide back into that fetal position. Inhale to open top leg, top arm, coming back. You're sort of like a dead bug here, and back and forth. Good. And then set the soles of the feet to the floor, and a little windshield wiper movement. And now with this windshield wiper movement, the next time your knees fall to the left, reach your left arm in that direction. Let your head go that way. Inhale back to center. Knees go to the right, reach your right arm. Head turns that way, and then just go back and forth. A few times. Right, now we'll come back to center. You can rest the knees together, take the legs long. Take your opposite hand to opposite top of the trapezius, those big muscles in the upper back, and just sort of pull the skin towards the front of your body, towards your collarbone. Kind of pull the skin there, pull the skin, pull the skin. Yep. And then take your hands on your neck and just stroke along the big ropey muscles on the side of your neck. Just get some activity going there. Great, then go to the other side, do the same thing. Same thing with the neck. Okay, and then just bring your hands resting on your belly or beside you and let your head roll to one side and to the other side. Just get a sense of maybe a little more freedom in this area. Then take opposite elbow with opposite hands. And as your neck rolls to one side, your arms reach to that side as well, your elbows come. Right? So feeling for some freedom here. And then come back to center, press into your feet, lift your hips, roll back down. Roll head towards knees. Open back up, soles of the feet to the floor, press into your upper back, lift your hips, set them back down, curl up, release, press up, release, curl up, release, soles of the feet to the floor, press up, release, curl up. Stretch long, rock your feet back and forth and feel that all the way through your body. And then you can roll over to one side, press yourself up to a seat. Now here, seat can be, you could take Sukhasana, you could take Virasana, you can take Sukhasana on a pillow. And then we're just going to reach in one direction and the other, changing maybe the level. And think about reaching through, all the way through your fingertips. All the way through your fingertips. And then we can take some upper body opening. Good. Then if you're on a pillow, see if you can come to the floor without rounding your back. We'll take a couple of cat cows. So here I've got my hands right behind the thighs, and that'll be the inhale to reach my chest forward, arching in my low back, and exhale, round and tuck. Okay, and then we're going to bring left hand behind us. Let the knees fall over to the left. I'll show you, I'll be in a couple different orientations to show you this. But I'm going to reach my right arm back behind my left right in this space here. Reach back. And then as if someone is sort of flinging my arm out to the side, I'm going to let my right hand be pulled out, arc up and over, pull my hand to the right, and then tuck my hand behind my back. And then pulling my hand out to the right, arc up and over, and tuck underneath. Reach out, reach through your fingertips, reach up through your fingertips, reach out through your fingertips. Set your hand to your low back. Reach up, over, under. Reach up, over, under. So we're really working the end range. The fascial system likes this. It's a little novel movement. And the next time your hands behind your back, take your forearm to your low back, sit up nice and tall. Then take a few rounds of breath. And release, come back to feet on the floor and take a few rounds of cat-cow. Then we'll take right hand to the floor, knees come to the right, knees fall over to the right. We slide the left hand under, then reach, reach, reach behind the back. Reach, reach, reach underneath. This whole body, we're getting lots of our body involved in this shoulder mobility movement, right? Reach and under. Reach through your fingertips. Over. Reach under. Reach up. And the next time your hand comes behind your back, press your forearm into your back. Sit tall. Take a few rounds of breath. Release. Taking the soles of your feet to the floor, hands behind your legs, and we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. Now let's go back to the first side. So knees are to the left and left hand's back. And we'll draw the right hand underneath. And then as we reach out, up and over, let your hand just pull your everything to the right. So the right hand comes behind the back and you reach under with the left hand, up, over, and it just pulls your knees with it. Up and over. Pulling over. So this is kind of whole body fluid movement. Good, and then we'll come back, take a few rounds of cat-cow. All right, transition to hands and knees. And on your hands and knees, just a few rounds first, just cat-cow movement. Mm-hmm. Right, then we'll take the hips back towards the heels. One hand comes to the side. If you can rest on the other forearm if you want. We're just manipulating the fascia, the fascial system here on the side waist. Take the other side. It's not much. It's just a little bit of rubbing or stimulating here. And then we come back to cat cow. Maybe we have a little more space. Come to a neutral spine, drop your hips back towards your heels, reach your right hand out, reach your left hand to rest on top of your right hand and set your hips back towards your heels. And then slide hands back, cat cow. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Reach your left hand out in front. Reach your right hand to set on top of your left hand. Hips back. And then press back up, cat, cow. The end of your next cow shape. Turn toes under. Press hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pedaling through your feet. And pick your feet up as you move back and forth. Pick your feet up and set them down, nice and gentle. And then stretch your legs long. Reach your sit bones up, up, up. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands. So you're in a little shorter stance. And turn up onto your toes. Press up onto your toes. Lift your heels. Kind of rock yourself forward. And then back. And forward. And back. And forward. And back. Then bend into your knees. And stand up slowly. Okay, stand up slowly. And just stand in Tadasana. Okay, so now I want you to think of being a ninja warrior. So you're going to go from right to left, to right to left, to right to left, to forward and backward, to forward and backward. Other foot first. And then all around your space. Any direction, orientation, but see if you can have your feet be quiet. Ninja feet. And come to Tadasana and bounce the heels. Bounce everything. Feet come off the floor, arms bounce, knees bent and bouncing. Stop. Bend your knees. Reach your arms up. Bend your knees, drop your arms. Beautiful. Shake out your legs. Now, from here, that same thing we did on the floor. So you've just woken up, pandiculate, take a yawn. See if you can move in multiple directions, letting one stretch just lead to another stretch. Maybe you can even close your eyes and see your that whole webbing, the whole web all through your body as you stretch in multiple directions. Let's reach the hands over right. Come back through center, reach the hands over left. Back to the right and the left and overhead and down, making some big sweeping, circling movements, and the other direction. Good. Then come back to Tadasana. Let your hands be relaxed by your sides. Relax your legs, a little engagement in the legs, so pull the kneecaps up. Now, just bring your right ear towards your right shoulder and reach your fingertips down towards the floor. Reach down towards the floor. So kind of have a really passive right arm. Imagine that there's a waterfall of, there's a cascading bunch of water falling down off your head, down your arm, down your fingers, down from your fingertips, making a puddle on the floor. There it is. Now, feel this really passive, let go of anything in the arm, any tension in your arm. And then just start a circle. And then just like the metronome, if you played piano, did piano lessons in Louisville, just let your passive arm continue to circle. Stop and start it the other way. But let the passive arm continue to circle. And stop. Take your right hand to your right ear and set your head back up. Center both arms down to your sides. Shake your arms. Bounce your heels. Bounce your heels. Shake. Bounce. Shake. How many different directions can you get going here? Dancing is good for the fascial system. Whew. Release. Left ear towards left shoulder. Left arm heavy, 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 heavy. Heavy. Like that water cascading down right through the fingertips. Start to circle. And let the passive arm continue to circle. Reverse. Stop. Left hand to the left ear. Set your head back up. Bounce the heels. Bounce the knees. Bounce the arms. Bounce the feet apart and back together. Apart and back together. Scissor the feet and back together. scissor the feet, and back together. Apart, together, scissor, together, apart, together, scissor the opposite way, together, apart, together, scissor, together, apart, together, scissor, together, apart, together. Reach your fingertips down towards the floor. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Feet hip distance apart. Allow yourself just to begin to circle like a bit of a rag doll, starting slowly and making the circling a little bigger. Go in the other direction. And stopping and resting. Hands down to your sides. Good. Now, from here, if you had your mat covered with a blanket like I did, you'll just move that out of the way. And let's start in Tadasana. Step the left foot back, put your weight into your right foot, step your left foot back in a pretty short stance. So left foot, toes are out, right foot is forward, and on the inhale, just bend slightly into your front knee and lift your arms overhead. And on your exhale, straighten through your front leg, reach the hands down towards the floor, reach your fingertips towards the floor. Inhale, bend through the front knee, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Reach right through your fingertips. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Reach the hands up, bend through the front knee. Now take your hands to your hips. Lift your hinge forward slightly, lift your back foot up and step it back and come into crescent lunge, high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Low ribs in, reach fingertips towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach the fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the back foot and open up into warrior two. Inhale here, exhale. Next inhale, straighten the front leg and reach the front arm up. Back hand comes down the back leg. And then can you sort of wave your front ribs? Get this little wavy action going. Wave the front ribs. And then hinge. Front hand comes to shin or ankle or thigh, Trikonasana. Reach through your fingertips and backstroke back, putting your hand to the back of your low back, just like we did on the floor. Inhale as you bend through the front knee, come back to warrior two. Exhale, drop the hips down, sinking a little bit more into your base. And then inhale, both arms up, turn both feet. Exhale, hands down to your sides. Release your fingertips towards the floor. And heel toe the feet together and bounce the heels. How loose can you have your hands be? If you can loosen your hands while you're bouncing your heels, maybe your shoulders as well. Good. Then bring the feet together, front of the mat, Tadasana. Weight into the left foot now, step the right foot back. Right toes come out. Inhale, bend through the front knee, arms up, Back leg straight and strong. Exhale. Release. Reach fingertips towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Bend through the front knee. Arms up. Reach fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale. Pull everything down towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bend through the front knee and take your hands to your hips. Rock forward so you can get your weight in your front foot. Pick up your back foot, set it back. Turn toes under, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Low ribs come in. Reach the fingertips towards the ceiling. So the fascial system likes the holding as well. Holding is molding. Remodeling the system. Inhale, reach the fingertips, and then exhale, turn the back foot open into warrior two. You might have to adjust your feet a little bit here. Inhale and exhale, 2 rounds of breath. Good. Next, inhale, straighten the front leg and take the front arm up, back, hand comes to the back leg, and then get this wavy sort of action like you're pulling your side ribs. You pull this front set of ribs forward as you shift your hips back, all right? And you hinge into Trikonasana. Take 3 rounds of breath in your Trikonasana. Good. After your last round of breath, inhale, bend through the front knee, come back through warrior two. On your exhale, it's a grounding, settling in. And then as you inhale the next time, straighten that front leg, turn both feet to face forward and parallel to one another, and exhale through center. Reach your hands down towards the floor. You can heel toe in a little bit. Lift the heels and bounce. If you need to come in a little tighter, bounce. And then how loose can you have your hands? How loose can you have your hands? Maybe the rest of the body gets involved as well. Yes, good. Then back to Tadasana. Now we'll inhale, come up onto the toes, drop the heels. That's right, come up onto the toes, drop the heels. Up onto the toes, drop the heels. Up onto the toes, drop the heels. You can get the arms involved. Arms will drop with the heels. Little bend in the knees. Good. Great. Tadasana, top of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Take your hands to the mat, step or jump back, downward facing dog. Bend through your knees, one and the other, walking out this. And then bring your feet a little closer to your hands. Come up onto your tippy toes, up onto your tippy toes. Bring your heels down to the floor. Up onto your tippy toes, up onto your toes, back down to the floor. Then walk your feet back out, more traditional shape. Come forward into high plank or drop your knees and come knees, chest, chin, all the way to your belly. Resting your forehead on the floor. Bring your Hands to the back of your sacrum. Reach your arms off your back body, lift your head and chest, lift your legs. For 3, 2, 1. Release. Make a little pillow with your hands. Release your forehead to the pillow. Bend through your knees. Take your knees wide and windshield wiper the knees back and forth. And then legs come, tops of the feet to the floor, legs long, slide your hands underneath your low ribs, shoulders press up, and let's look at some ninja hands. So resting your hips on your heels, you're just gonna fall to the floor and with those nice quiet hands, press yourself back up. Now, if you go to the side, one side then the other, it'll feel a little bit more engaging. Doesn't feel like much, but we're getting that springing action. We're springing back up. Okay. And then we'll take it to the next stage. So we'll turn toes under, rest hips on heels. So we're balancing on our heels. And then we fall to the hands and press ourselves back up. Spring ourselves back up. The ninja hands. Go side to side. Farther away you go from the body, the more work it's going to be. It's a great way to really engage the shoulder, muscles around the shoulder, leg. Good. Then from here, we'll come to hands and knees. We'll come to forearms on the floor. Draw the hips back towards the heels. Circle around in one direction. So as you draw the hips back towards the heels, then bring the side ribs out, then come forward, then side ribs out on the other side, come back. So circling around. And then reversing the direction. And from here, back up to hands and knees. Let's take one knee forward and you'll come down onto that hip and turn the other leg out long. Okay, so we're gonna rotate towards the bent leg and then reach over towards the straight leg. And then come and rotate towards the bent leg. And then come back and reach out towards the extended leg. Reaching through your fingertips. You could extend this to coming up onto the bent leg. And then coming down and reaching out towards the extended leg. And you could go back and forth here with that movement. Good. Wherever you are, switch, come back down to the floor and switch the orientation of your legs. Rotate towards the bent leg, reach out towards the extended leg. Rotate towards the bent leg, reach out towards the extended leg. Again, you could come up on that bent leg side, Reaching right through your fingertips and set the hips down. Reach right through the fingertips, so through the fingertips, and go back and forth. And then wherever you are, come into Dandasana. Let's take our feet wide in this Dandasana. Feel length through your spine. If it means you have to have your hands behind your back to keep a neutral spine, do that. Put a little engagement in your legs. Some of you might be able to have your hands up more by your hips. I would encourage you not to come forward and round your back, though, to keep the back nice and tall. And we slide the feet forward, or hips forward. Take hands behind the thighs and roll down slowly to the floor. Coming into Apanasana. Ankles crossed. Pull your knees in towards your chest and feel for spreading your back body wide, really spreading the back body wide. Back of the neck long, so make the double chin, pressing even the back of your head into the floor. Now we'll separate the knees and bring forearms underneath the knees, opposite hand on opposite wrist. This is just a happy baby variation. Ooh, see if you can let everything sink into the floor. Keep the double chin going, so back of the neck stays long. Back of the neck stays long. Release the soles of your feet to the floor. Take opposite hand to opposite trap and just brush that skin. Brush the skin. You can kind of lift that shoulder up and take as far down the trap as you can get and bring that skin forward towards your clavicle. And then stroke the side of your neck. Give it a little, maybe like you're kneading some dough, very lightly, very delicate. You're making a very delicate creation. You might even take your thumb and forefinger along the big ropey sternomastocoid and just kind of massage gently up and down the neck. Then take your other side, first with the hand, reaching back on the top of the trapezius and rolling that skin forward. Rolling that skin forward. Then the neck, whatever felt good on the other side. I think it feels kind of good to pinch just very lightly and just like you're rolling some dough. Or what we call palpation. You know, if you've done any medical training, just taking your finger pads and moving along those muscle fibers. So here we're just stimulating the whole fascial system. And then rest your knees together. Let your head move side to side very slowly. Perhaps you get a little more space now. Opposite elbow to opposite hand. So when your head goes to one side, you can take elbows to the same side. Maybe you try going opposite sides. I don't think it feels as nice as going to the same side. Great, then maybe you can take your elbows behind your forearms behind your head. Tuck shoulder blades underneath. Tuck your chin in, back of the neck long. Shoulders very open here. If doesn't happen in your body, just pick up your head and interlace your hands underneath your head. Okay. That doesn't work in your body, just maybe hands out to, or the arms out in like a goalpost position with the hands in close to the shoulders. Then release your hands to your belly. And a couple more windshield wipers with the legs. And we're going to do a nice long shavasana. So if you have a blanket nearby or you need to put on some clothing, take your time. I'm going to guide us through a nice relaxing finish. So from this windshield wiper action, anything else you need, then you'll take your legs long, resting hands on the belly or beside you. All right. And begin by just releasing everything. It's this feeling of releasing everything to the floor. So releasing everything to the floor. Legs are heavy. And bring your attention to your toe tips. And you let all the tension out of your toe tips. And then can you release any tension in the bottoms, the soles of your feet? Release any tension in the soles of your feet. Feel where your calf meets the floor and soften there. Legs are heavy. Legs are heavy. Release your hips to the floor. Release your hips to the floor. Feel where your back makes contact with the floor. Let your back body spread wide. Arms are heavy. Feel all the way down into your fingertips. Relax your fingertips. Relax your fingertips. Soften your hands from the inside out. Bringing your awareness to the palms of your hands, the tingling, the sensation in the palms of your hands. Relax the back of your head into the floor. Let the back of your skull spread wide. Release your ears down towards the floor. Soften your jaw. So releasing any holding in your jaw, any pursing around your mouth. And release any pursing around your eyes. Soften the space between your brow. Let your whole system release and relax. Bringing your awareness to this still, relaxed place in your body, in your being. Celebrating the amazing nervous system and our ability to do this. Stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you want to come up and join me in a closing Om, roll to one side slowly. Take your time. Pressing yourself up to a seat or taking a few breaths on your side body. We'll meet when everyone's ready. Back in a seat. Bring your hands in front of your heart in a gesture of prayer that works for you. Perhaps your heart, your thoughts are with the people in Ukraine, in Europe, part of our system, right? We're all part of a system as humans, as people on this planet, as living beings, just like our fascial system. So one thing affects another. There is no doubt about that. So bringing hands to heart center, we'll take an inhale to an open mouth exhale. And inhale to an Om. May all beings know peace. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Namaste.